What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the PlayStation Drive episode 91. My name's Matt, and I'll be your host for this adventure's events. I'm joined, as always, by the Supreme Court of Canada himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, Court?
Hey, buddy, my arms hurt.
Yeah, a little
I've been VR is a workout, and if
bit.
anybody doesn't realize that, play Horizon Call of the Mountain, and tell me how your shoulders feel after the fact, because it's just like you're just doing this over and over and over and over and over
You're
and
looking a
over and
little bit
over
more
again.
buff, though, already,
And then
eh?
you get to a point, and then it's like you're only halfway. Let's climb some more. And it's just there's a lot of climbing. It's fun. It's cool looking, but it's like it's different. Let's just be honest here. There's pluses and minuses with everything, and
Mm-hmm.
my arms hurt, man.
I feel ya. Yeah, I've been playing a bunch of pistol whip, and so I feel ya with the duck dodging and the moving around a lot. But we will get into all of that in just a little bit. On this week's show, we're going to be talking everything announced at the State of Play, some Mortal Kombat stuff, some Metal Gear Solid rumors, and are State of Plays just a mandatory thing that Sony has to do? Strap in, we'll be talking all of this and more as we roll through the episode. If you're watching this on youtube.com right now /Carpool Gaming, please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. If you're listening to us on your podcast network of choice, thank you so much. All of you Spotify people, we see you on Anchor. We appreciate you all. Thank you very much. All the Apple Music, all you people are wonderful. Leave those follows, leave those subscribes, hit us with those 5 stars. We appreciate it all very much. And of course, if you have a couple extra bucks to toss our way, head to patreon.com/carpool gaming. Throw in bucks into the tip jar. Out comes a cornucopia of content, and you can tip yo drivers. Thank you all for all of your support. Now, without further ado, Court, we have to talk, okay? Because I know you don't like the PSVR 2 earbuds, but I actually quite enjoy them. I actually think that they work quite well. They're a good fit. The sound quality is pretty good, and I've actually found myself even using them to listen to music, and something that I would call
Shut the front
a
door.
playlist. No, I'm 100% joking. I'm
Oh
just
my
doing.
god, Jesus, yeah.
What's been on
Oh
your
my
playlist
god,
lately, dude? Because obviously we've been busy.
so I've been playing PSVR 2,
Yeah,
nonstop.
yeah.
That's all I've been doing since launch. I have dabbled in. I'm playing a lot of Horizon, trying to finish that game. As I told you before the show, I'm about just over 3 hours into the game.
Hmm.
But the thing with VR is I'm learning now is it can't be like I just sit down and grind out thing. You have to what I've been doing for the first little bit after the advice from you, I did 20-minute intervals
Yep,
and then would walk away, come back, walk away, come back. So I'm trying to build up my VR stamina, as you called it.
yep. Your VR
So
legs.
yeah, like I've seen some people say they've had no issues with it, but I think maybe that's because they've done a lot of VR before. For
Hmm.
me, this is all brand new. Game looks absolutely beautiful. It's a workout. My arms actually hurt, and so do my shoulders. I'm old, so there's a lot of climbing involved, which I find really cool, like the traversal in it and the different mechanics they give you to do the traversal.
Hmm.
I'm having issues with the combat, but I think I can get it down. I just gotta get into it. I keep moving my head, and that's just it is what it is. And I've played Garden of the Sea.
Hmm.
I hopped into that. My wife played a little bit of that. My wife also played some Tetris. I did Kayak VR. I didn't get motion sickness from it, but
Oh,
my
good.
wife did. My
Oh.
wife did.
Mm.
Yeah, she definitely did. I actually got a little bit of motion, not I wouldn't call it motion sickness, but I felt a little levitation after I played Horizon for about 40 minutes one time. I took off the headset
Hmm.
and I'm looking around and things were moving in front of me. It was weird. Um, and I tried out what else did I try? Gran Turismo 7.
Yes.
I tried the driving. I will say this for people, it's for some reason it's very weird to get into the driving. Like it takes a lot of like figuring it out. First, I'd never played the game, so I had to play the tutorial, go through all that,
Hmm.
and then even then, it's like it keeps wanting to use the controller. So it is what it is. It looks unbelievable once you get into the car. It's kind of crazy actually while driving that car. And then I played What the Bat. That game is just fun.
Hmm.
It's just fun. That game is just straight up silliness, fun. And then I tried out Star Wars for a bit. So I dabbled in a lot. I went into Star Wars. I think I'm definitely gonna like Star Wars. It's more can't be motion sickness and you're just going through and doing puzzles to get to where it is. I just want to finish Horizon because I really do enjoy the story.
Hmm.
And that's what I've been doing. Like I've a lot of VR.
Yeah, I
Like
feel
a
you,
lot.
dude. I've been in the exact same boat. Right before VR hit, I finished Dead Space. I enjoyed it. I thought that the monster classes towards the back half get a little ridiculous, and the final boss was some mid 2000s really roughness. Like I really really hated that last boss, especially because of like they half your weapons aren't effective against it, and then on top of the fact that you don't have enough ammo, and on top of the fact that when you die, which I died a few times, they make you watch a long cutscene leading into the boss every time that you can't skip. So just some stuff there that kind of ended it on a little bit
You should
more.
play on easy, man.
I played on normal, so it wasn't even
Yeah,
like that
see,
bad.
there you go. Just you
Yeah,
play on easy, and you never had those issues.
yeah. But I enjoyed it on normal. I think that was the first time that I got a real hang up. But then of course VR hit, and I've been similarly to you, hopping to a bunch of stuff. Horizon, as you mentioned, looks beautiful. Like I cannot believe how good that game actually looks. I think
Mhm.
it feels pretty great. The dodge is not something that I have down entirely yet. I think you're
Same.
right that like there are certain ways that because of the way that you move, sometimes things don't feel like they work the way that they should. Um,
Agreed.
so it's a little bit of and again, I'm early in. I'm probably only about an hour in, so I'm not sure if that's the game or me as of yet. So once I get a little bit deeper in, I'll have more thoughts there. Spent a bunch of time with Pistol Whip. That game is amazing. It's basically Beat Saber meets Super Hot. It's so much fun. Like just kind of you're moving through a level and you have your guns and you're basically shooting along to the beat as you're taking enemies out. Super super cool. Hopped into Star Wars for a little bit myself as well. I did get a little motion sick on that with the movement. Not bad, but I felt a little bit of the wooziness hitting. So I put it down for a little bit just to kind of reacclimate myself because I felt it a little bit with Horizon as well, but it went away. And I haven't played VR in a little while now, so I think it's just myself again readjusting, and I'm very, very prone to motion sickness. But then I think my third play session with Horizon, I felt totally fine, even climbing. So again, I think it's just reacclimating myself. Started up Garden of the Sea. Senna hopped into that. She ended up playing more than an hour straight. The game is very, very cute. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very chill. It's very, very zen. The art
She grew
style is
some
adorable.
turnips, didn't she?
Yeah, she grew some
Yeah.
turnips. She went. She built a bridge. She went over. She hung out with some animals. She's loving it. I'm excited to hop in. GT7 blew me away when I hopped into it. Like the first time you make a corner and the sun actually kind of like moves with you across your face. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And again, I felt like I drive better in VR than I did flat screened because GT7 for me, I really enjoyed it. It's hard for somebody who's not used to a lot of these more realistic sims. I drove better even with the controller in VR than I did otherwise. I feel like just the kind of depth perception of me better acclimating and seeing the course. I felt like I drove a lot better. I'm definitely gonna be playing more of that. In terms of kind of what's next for me, No Man's Sky dropped their new update. I haven't had a chance to hop into that yet, along with Resident Evil Village is next on my list. And of course, we got stuff like Res After the Fall and What the Bat is just What the Bat for me. They do require a pretty large area of play.
I had
That
to fake it. Yeah.
yeah. Were you able to fake it? I wasn't able to.
Yeah. So you need 7 feet, which is that's
Seven
aggressive.
by
So you
seven.
need,
Yeah.
yeah, you need it for Job Simulator as well. So what happens is some of the stuff is just not reachable.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
because like my room, it's pretty big. I'm like, wow, that is that's a hindrance to me
Yeah.
because like Job Simulator, I had a lot of fun with, but I'm like, I knew I couldn't get to a certain area, so I needed to be able to play the game with someone else in the room,
Hmm.
so I didn't hit into things. Because yeah, you need a very large 7 feet is a lot.
Yeah, they call it 6.7 feet by 6.7 feet because I guess that is full room scale. And in the room that we're in right now, like I'm going to bring the PlayStation up to a different room that is a little bit more empty and try and get it running there. Um,
My
because
office is big, dude,
yeah,
and it's still not. That's what I didn't understand. Like I moved all the way over into the corner.
yeah,
But it also doesn't, allow the sit down. Like,
yeah.
it doesn't allow sit down.
Yeah, it's very much more of like the room scale VR where you need to kind of move interact with the environment a little bit more. I'm really really excited to try it, but I just haven't had an opportunity to hop into that yet. But yeah, I'm loving it so far. The controllers are fantastic. The headset is so good. Like when you feel that rumble come across the back of your head, I'm like, oh my god.
But I
But
wanna be I the battery life on those controllers is not
yes,
the best. It
yeah,
is not good at all.
it's like four to
It
five
is it
hours
reminds me a
most.
lot about the DualSense Edge.
Hmm.
It dies quick. Like, today, I had them fully charged this morning, and now I never got the battery charger.
Yeah.
It's already ordered. It comes in the mail tomorrow. I ordered it right away because, yeah, these things die quick.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I
Yeah,
will.
they die very quick.
I will say that the battery life on them isn't great. I do think that the controllers as a whole are fantastic, but that is the kind of the one major flaw with them is how quickly they die. It's just one of those things that like for me, I've already gotten to the habit of like, oh, I'm done a session, put them right back in the charging dock.
which is
Um,
great. I don't have that.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like I do think it's a little bit more of a requirement because like I feel like the moves lasted a little bit longer. So I do think that that charging dock is a much more necessary accessory for PSVR 2 than they were for PSVR 1. Because like you mentioned, like they die quick. But overall, so far, really loving it, really blown away. Like I went into it expecting, you know, VR but better, and I'm really pleasantly surprised with what we've gotten so far. I'm really, really happy with it.
Have
Very.
you have you played a game? So I played Dead Space.
Oh, you mean like a just a normal
I,
game? I haven't yet.
yeah,
No.
because you can play whatever you want.
So let me ask you this
Technically,
then, because
yeah.
here's what I'm curious about. Well, you play a normal game, right? And obviously the game, like the screen is like the 4K, the 120 hertz. Like it's an incredible screen. It's better than my TV, so I might just start playing games in there anyway. Um, when you're looking, does the screen move with you, or do you lock it to one position? Do you know what I'm? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, so it doesn't move with you, no.
It doesn't. Okay, good. Because the PSVR OG sometimes it would move with you, and
Well,
that
it
for
has
me
the eye you
was
have to turn the eye tracking off.
okay.
So
Yeah.
you know how you can center the screen, like you can
Yes.
hold down the share button? It asks you to, and that can readjust the screen, like when you're playing Horizon, it asks you to do it every time. Um, so you can do that, and then you can have the it's unfortunate if you have the eye tracking on, it does move, but
Okay.
I just played it just to see how it would be, and it was pretty very it was kind of very cool.
It's like a movie
But I
theater, right? Like it's kind
yeah,
of like what it feels like.
it's exactly. I just wanted to test it out and see if it would work, and it does work. Um, but I will say this for people: if your TV supports 120 frames per second
Hmm.
and 4K and HDR, that is actually turned off on your headset when you initially get it. Now, here's why. You have to go into your settings.
Hmm.
If your TV already has it. If your TV doesn't, it's not turned off. With the people that
Yes.
already have it on your PlayStation, you've already set your PlayStation to automatic. So that with 120 frames or anything like that, the game has it, it automatically kicks it in. You actually have to turn that off, then go into your PSVR settings, turn it all on, and then go back into your PS5 settings and you can
Hmm.
turn automatic and it won't override. That way, when you're playing, you get 4K 120 on the headset and you get 4K 120 on your TV.
Yeah.
Because what it'll say is it'll give you a warning saying if you do this and your TV doesn't support 4K 120, there'll be nothing on the TV for someone to see while you're playing. Because as you're playing VR, what you see on the screen shows up on the television.
Yep.
But if your TV doesn't support it, it won't show up. But my TV does. So it was a setting that you actually have to go in and toggle off and on to get it to work. Otherwise, your headset doesn't come automatically toggled to 4K 120
Yeah.
HDR. It
There's
doesn't have it on.
there's another setting. There's actually a video that we tossed that I tossed into the our PlayStation Drive Discord, which is free to join by the way, in the show notes. But that basically runs through some settings that you should turn on because there's also like a frame booster that comes in a default turned off. And essentially what it does is that like usually when you're playing the TV is full screen, right? Like if it's just like what it's displaying on the actual TV, it'll shrink the area and put this kind of like PlayStation border around it, but it then boosts what your capability is inside the headset. So I actually found after turning that on, even stuff like motion sickness and this kind of general stability was better. So there are some really important settings that you should mess with right out of the box. Like Court mentioned, all the stuff that like you know the 4K and the 120 frames and stuff needs to be physically like actually turned on, and along with that FPS booster because it makes a significant difference.
Eh,
And again, the downside is that the people looking on the TV have a smaller viewing area, but again, like whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's weird to me because that was one of the things, the instruction booklet that comes with it might as well just not even be there.
I didn't even look at it.
It's pointless. There's really nothing in there to tell you anything. I was actually like it's great when you plug it in and everything is going through.
Mhm.
I just thought it needed a better tutorial, especially with these type of settings,
Yep.
because I had to Google it and I
Yep.
was like, because I was like, this doesn't look as good as it should. And then I did a quick Google and I'm like, yeah, it's because it doesn't.
Yeah. There's some
It's
stuff you
just
have to mess
weird.
with.
It's very weird. I we've talked about this before. I think the tech is phenomenal.
Mhm.
I just think the messaging and how it was released was subpar. But, we had a state of play that we finally got things that we've been asking for. So, hey,
Hey, that's a perfect time to transition over to our first news story coming from our friends over at Console Creatures, written by Dennis Price, who sums up everything revealed during the state of play that we got yesterday on February 23rd. And we got 45 minutes, 15 minutes of that with Suicide Squad. We got some VR reveals and some other stuff. So let's do a quick run through now. We kicked off with the PSVR 2 stuff. We got the Foglands, which looks like a really interesting it kind of looks like a roguelike that has some,
It's definitely a roguelike.
yeah, some card stuff going on in as well. The game looks super, super cool. Some really, really cool art. The art style is really, really awesome. This for me was one of the standouts. Court, how did you feel about Foglands?
Yeah, I will not be playing Foglands. It is just roguelikes are not for me. I've tried them and tried them and tried them. Nothing about this, and then even the card mechanic, I was just like, you are just. It's just not for me. It's just not a big deal. Like there's games for me, there's games isn't, and there's
Mhm.
games for all types of players. And this is just definitely I'm not going to be putting my money into this bad boy.
Yeah,
This is a Mac game, all written all over it.
it is a Matt game. The next thing we got was Green Hell VR, which is coming to PSVR 2 sometime this year. Looks like a
Mhm.
survival game. Again, this for me is a not for me. Didn't really do much for me. Court,
I don't think it did a lot for anybody. This was a
this
it did
kid kills me every time.
it didn't
Hold
look
on.
good.
Just
But
just look at the way that this little munchkin runs away.
I don't know what you're seeing.
Oh, you don't see what I'm seeing, right?
No, yeah,
I have the
that's
trailer
that is
playing.
more funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's even
It
better.
that game just didn't look good. Am I wrong in
No, it
saying
didn't.
that? The trees didn't look real. I thought like if you were gonna do that kind of thing, you've got to make it more survival realistic. I don't know. It didn't look good at all.
No, it didn't. Yeah, this is a pass for me. Synapse is what we got next. Again, coming 2023, coming from End Dreams, who did stuff like Fract, and Fract was really, really cool back on the
There
PSVR 1.
they
Uh,
also have the new Ghostbusters game coming out on
oh,
VR.
nice.
That's End Dreams as well.
There you go. So this one had a really, really cool art style, very black and white with a lot of color popping off with the enemies and some of the environments. This for me is again one that I'm very excited about. This trailer really sold me on it. And I think this was the one that you kind of enjoyed the most up front looking at too, right,
100%.
Court?
You got the powers, you got everything. This was the one I was like, oh, I could play 11 daylights out of this game. It just looked like fast paced fun.
It did. It really did. It looks really, really cool. And like this is what I want out of PSVR 2. Like give me stuff like this. This looks awesome. Journey to Foundation was another one that we got that's based off of a Isaac Asimov sci-fi epic. I don't know too much about this one, but again, looks pretty cool. Looks like it has like a pretty dedicated, like full-on story. Again, some sneaky going around, some climbing. We got some, some cool looking weapons and some cool looking powers. Again, this one I'm in. Like again, like from what we've seen out of this bunch, this one looks really cool for me as well. Court, I can't remember. Did you felt all right about this one? You felt
Yeah,
curious to
no,
see more?
I'd try it out. My hope is for a lot of these VR games, and I know they did this with PSVR 1, that we get demos.
Yeah.
Especially with motion sickness being a thing.
Yes.
I think they need to give demos on almost every game to see if I understand from what I understand in the Oculus store, they give refunds very quickly.
Hmm.
If you're getting motion sickness from a game, I guess it's like if you played for less than a half an hour or something like that, or an hour,
And
they'll
you'll
give
know
you
fast.
yeah, they'll give you an automatic refund. And I've already heard from PlayStation people that they don't do that. So, and we all know how the PlayStation Store is. They don't give refunds for anything. They give you one freebie and that's it in your lifetime as a PlayStation
Fam.
uh, fan. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping there's a demo, but a lot of times when I look at games, if there's no demo, it's like I don't know if I'm gonna jump in. I'll have to wait for reviews sometimes.
Yeah, 100%, especially that with VR. You've kind of hit that nail on the head. We do need demos for this stuff because again, you can't really work through significant motion sickness when it comes to some of this stuff. So hopefully we get this. Before Your Eyes got our official release date on March 10th. This is a really, really cool game. I played this back on PC. The game actually tracks your eyes, and in certain moments when you blink, time skips. It is a very, very emotional game, very, very beautiful. When I did my review for it back in the day, I talked about how hard it was to sometimes, like, I wanted to stay in certain moments, I wanted to stay in certain scenes, but I was crying so much that I had to blink. This is like an incredible, incredible experience. It was one of my favorite games of that year. But just be aware that this is a heavy game when it comes to its narrative. Very, very emotional, but very beautiful and very, very well done. Court, any feelings on Before Your Eyes?
No, I'm gonna definitely try it out, but it's not like right up there on my I need to play this.
Fair. And then we basically started rolling through other stuff. We got Destiny 2 Lightfall. We got a trailer there, which featured a guy with a lot of smoke coming out of his head. Chia, we got the release date of March 21st. And Court, we finally got something with Chia that we've been asking for since Stray. Can you tell
Yeah,
me a little
seriously.
bit about that?
We got a day and date on PlayStation Plus. Like, and it was funny, you said it, but we've been saying this every time they get a state of play where we were hoping that they would start doing what Xbox does. Like Xbox pretty much just does a showcase and it's like it's game. You know, everything you're watching is on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I want state of plays to eventually be there, where if they're even if they're showing me third party, I know that it's coming to the service.
Yep.
Because we're getting to that point. Chia looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for this game, and I am day one adopter. I want to play this game.
I'm with you entirely. I think this is the best trailer that we've got for the game as of yet as well. Like the art style is beautiful. The game looks incredible. It coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium day one is fantastic. It's just going to give a lot of other people an opportunity to hop in and check this out. Because I do think this is going to be one of those things that once people start playing it, you know, they'll know very quickly whether it's for them or if it's not. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad that we finally got a game that's day and date. I hope this becomes much more normal because the last one that we got was Stray
We
in
should get one.
July.
I think we should be getting one. I personally, sorry, I'm not saying like we should. We're going to be. I would hope that we get one a month at least,
Me too,
and then get
because
because that's what Game Pass did before, and now Game Pass gives you like 2 or
75.
3, yeah, 2 or 3 a month.
I know, I'm with you. I'm hoping we're going to get more of this at a more regular clip. But again, for now, we know that Chia is coming March 21st and it's hitting PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium. We got a release window for Humanity, which I know, Seth and Ryan were very excited for when we did the live stream. This is a game from, I can't remember who the developers are off the top of my head, but they are someone that's pretty prolific.
Seth was like gushing over it. I've seen people give. I guess there's a demo for it.
There's
Some
a
people have
demo,
played it,
and it's on
people would say-
PSVR too.
People are pulling out the old the imagery and what they're thinking here and blah blah blah. Cool. It is probably just not for me. That's fine.
I'm with you there. I think the game looks very visually interesting, but there's just a lot going on here that I don't know. I'll try the demo if there's a demo. We said that there is. They dropped last night. Curious to try it, but I just don't know if it's for me as well.
I don't want to think so much. I don't need to think about imagery and what this means.
Just give
I
me
just
the
want to
thing.
get lost in a world. Yeah, just give me the thing.
Goodbye Volcano High got a release date of June 15th. We got a little bit more gameplay here. We see that it has some rhythm stuff going on. We got some choices and some conversations going. As Court says, this is a very Mac game. Very music centric, very cool art style, very, very visually interesting looking. And I'm excited to play this. Court?
No,
Fair enough.
I'll play it if it's. This was the one that we both thought should have came to the service as well.
Yes. Yeah, we were hoping for that announcement, and we didn't get one, but who knows? Maybe they'll announce that closer too.
No.
Next, we got Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Collections. Oh, sorry,
Nope.
Connections. TBA 2023. It's a bunch of Naruto and Boruto stuff. Yeah. Next, we got Baldur's Gate 3 coming on August 31st. This is, of course, a continuation of the Baldur's Gate franchise. It is a turn-based
Conveniently
strategy
not coming to
RPG.
Xbox.
Yes.
Only PlayStation.
Only PlayStation and PC,
And that's,
I
I think,
believe.
why it was in there, because originally I thought it was coming to Xbox, and that was like, oh my god, this is a Game Pass game. But it's just weird announcing this now, and it's not coming till August.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're starting to talk about it because I think this is the first real trailer that we've got for it. We knew it was coming at some point. But this game, to me, very excited to try it. I think it might be my first Baldur's Gate. The trailer actually sold me on it. I want to play it.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah.
Looks great. I'm definitely in.
Looks really, really cool. Wayfinder, we found out is getting a closed beta on February 28th. This is a new MMO coming from the folks who did what's the ninja game? They're Canadian based out of London. Warframe. They are the devs who made Warframe. Looks very much like Fortnite meets World of Warcraft, kind of. I don't know. I think this is a pass for me. Court, where are you at on this one?
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to jump into games sometimes, and it's just like I just feel like I'm too lost in this.
Mhm.
I just haven't been in the world long enough.
Yeah, again, I think this one is going to be free to play as well. Don't hold me to that though. But we'll have more thoughts on this in the future, maybe. Street Fighter 6, we got a new trailer that showed off Zangief, a new character called Lily, who looked very, very cool. And then we got another look at Cammy. Street Fighter 6, not something personally I'm very excited about, but I will say this game shows very, very cool. Court, how you feeling about Street Fighter 6?
Look cool. I haven't really been into fighting games in a really long time. The last time I played Street Fighter, I believe, was the SNES. So
Yeah.
I doubt. It looks to me like it's just going to cause so much stick drift. I'm out.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be. It looks fun, and I know Ryan and Seth were very excited about it. Resident Evil 4 remake, we got PS4. We got another trailer for it March 24th.
Your
Yep. And of course, we got confirmation that it is coming to PSVR 2 in the future. The game continues to look awesome. I'm very, very excited. Like, depending on how my time with Village goes, I may wait for the VR mode to play this entirely in VR, but we will see. I'm not going to make that promise as of yet. Court, Resident Evil 4, doing anything for you?
Sorry, Nagachaka. These games are just not for me. Like I've tried. I was it the RE2 remake that we got the demo for?
Yes.
I actually enjoyed it, and then when the full game came out, I bought it, and then I played it for like 6 hours, and I just walked away and never went back. So I don't know. Survival horror sometimes gets me. Like I love Dead Space,
Yep.
but for some reason, Resident Evil just feels like it's jumping the shark all the time with me.
Fair enough. And then, of course, we got 15 minutes of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. We got our first real gameplay look of the squad taking, running around a city and fighting some purple bubbles.
Yeah.
I don't know, Court.
True.
I'm gonna let you start with this one. Tell me, because you're the much bigger DC fan, much bigger Batman fan. How are you feeling for our first real look at Suicide Squad?
So a lot more information has been dropped about this. So the
Yep.
world is, I guess, twice the size of the Arkham open worlds that we had in the past, which
Okay.
wouldn't even make it that big. So I kind of like it. It would be almost like the size of like Hogwarts, which I was praising it on not being too big of a map.
Okay.
I love the fact that the combat looks fast. I know a lot of people were like comparing it to Crackdown, but that's what people do. People, instead of saying, here's the things that I liked about it, they're like, here's the things I'm going to nitpick about. But this is something I was very scared about at first. It's Rocksteady, so I shouldn't have been because they have a very good pedigree, but we kept not seeing anything.
Yep.
All we were seeing is trailers. We finally got to see gameplay. The gameplay looks great to me. I love the fact that there's the four great characters to play through with Boomerang, Harley, Shark, and Deadshot.
Hmm.
I want to do Shark and Deadshot. Like I was already trying to pick which character I wanted to use because I want to go through the world because I'm very interested in the story, especially when you get Wonder Woman in there. They announced that they're going to have more stuff. I know some people were griping about, okay, there's loot in it. I'm like, that's fine. I like loot games. That's fine. They've already announced that it does have to be always online.
Yep.
So, and I get people going on about that. That's their prerogative, but I would say almost every game that comes out nowadays is like has to be online, even if it doesn't even need to be.
Hmm.
It's like has to be online. I don't think that's a deal breaker anymore. To me, I want to play it. I played Gotham Knights and I enjoyed my time with it. I did think there was a lot of issues with it, but I enjoyed being in that world. And once again, this is the DC world. Batman's in it, Superman's in it. Like I'm in, and
Yeah.
I'll make my judge there. Like I'm gonna play it.
Yeah. I'm curious about it. I think Boomerang out of the four out of the four characters looked like the most fun to me. Like again, I do like that the game looks very fast. It looks very fluid. The movement looks really again that it's going to be a great traversal system. I do like the fact that the enemies so far don't seem too bullet spongy, which was a massive issue with Marvel's Avengers. And of course, this game is drawing a lot of comparisons to that as well. And I'm not sold yet that they're not unfounded. I'm curious to see on how the loot's going to come together. I'm curious to see what the battle pass is going to look like. I'm curious to see. I want to see a mission for like start to finish from one character's perspective because I don't think we know yet that you can freely swap in and out characters with like mid mission. I think it's probably going to be at the beginning of the missions that you choose your
No,
character.
yeah, it's at the beginning. They announced it during it, so it is going to be at the beginning of the mission. But
Yeah.
like they said, the missions aren't long, and you can always just switch characters on the next mission.
Yeah.
They announced that the battle pass is solely going to be cosmetics.
Cosmetic. Yeah.
Now, all Rocksteady games have technically had DLC. They called it in the past.
Hmm.
It technically was a battle pass where you could get skins.
Yeah.
They did say there's going to be actual DLC, which will add new characters
Hmm.
and add missions, like actual missions, not just like here, go grind this thing, actual full flawed out story missions. So to me, they kind of mapped it out already. And like the battle pass, I don't care what my character wears. I am not that person. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I'll be definitely probably if the story is good enough, if it's a rock steady story and we get more DLC with more story, I'll probably in on that too.
Yeah, I'm curious to see more. It's definitely, I think it showed better than maybe what I was expecting, but I'm not entirely sold on it as of yet. But again, I think they did a solid job with us with our first real gameplay look. Of course, and that pretty much rounded out everything from the state of play. Let us know in the comments, what did you think of the state of play? I think it was when we kind of spoke on the live stream. I think we both agreed it was
Solid.
solid.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing, wasn't terrible. It was solid.
Yep.
Let us know in the comments what you thought. Because going into our next story, coming from PlayStation Lifestyle, written by Ryan Easby. PlayStation Showcase planned for before E3 2023. State of play, quote unquote, an obligation. Apparently, Jeff Grubb was talking on his Game Mess podcast, saying that Sony are saving the good stuff for the PlayStation Showcase that's going to happen before E3. They're going to reveal, it was supposed to be last fall, but evidently the Sony kept pushing it back because the devs just weren't ready to show the games as of yet. That means that fans could see games such as Spider-Man 2 at the show rather than a State of Play event. Going on to say that the State of Play presentations happen because they are, quote unquote, an obligation, and are Sony meeting the obligations of their co-marketing partners. This basically means that a publisher makes a deal with Sony to have their game shown off on a bigger stage in hopes of getting more eyes on the game. So this pretty much acts, I mean, Grubb has been right. He's been very consistently right for a long time. He's not 100%, but I think the idea of a State of Play being, again, it's a marketing showpiece no matter how you cut it, with, the big stuff coming, I'm guessing, in May. Court, when do you think we're going to get this showcase, and how do you feel about the kind of narrative of the State of Play being just a must-have rather than what they want?
Just because they're not at E3 doesn't mean we won't get something around E3. We know we're getting an Xbox showcase. Xbox is not going to be there, but we know they're going to be across the street and they're going to be doing the showcase like they did last year, where they say, here's what's coming out in the next 12 months. So we know we're getting that. We know Nintendo's doing something, but they're not going to be at E3, but they're going to be doing something. I would find it hard pressed for that week to not have a Sony one as well. I would think it's just a missed opportunity if they didn't, to be honest.
Yeah, because like if we look at last year, we got like we got the Horizon dedicated State of Play that lasted for like the 20 to 25 minutes, and then a few weeks later we got another State of Play more focused on the third party. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar, but the thing is that in terms of upcoming stuff, we know Spider-Man 2 is this year. They've reiterated that time and time again. Both PlayStation and Insomniac are saying that it is coming, so we're probably going to get a meaty look at that.
And it sounds like we're going to be using a lot more Miles Morales than we are Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see exactly how this shakes out. But like, I'm guessing that their PlayStation is just going to kind of rest on third party until at least June, because that's, with Final Fantasy 16 coming out in June, that's kind of like the only major exclusive that we know about until Spider-Man 2. So I'm guessing, this showcase would be when we actually see Spider-Man 2, where we actually
Last
see
of Us, dude.
factions.
We know we're getting factions.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
Factions, like maybe we'll get our first teaser, like small teaser for Wolverine.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If the show wasn't doing as well, do we know the PC version would have already been released?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we would have seen factions?
No,
or PC? No. Okay.
I think what they're doing, I really do think that I think this report makes a lot of sense. They're probably waiting to get all of their ducks in a row so they have one incredible 45-minute long showcase that will have people being like, that was amazing, and that was amazing, and that was amazing.
Do you think we see Wolverine?
I think it's too early. We may see.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
We may see a tiny teaser trailer, like something along the lines of what we got for Spider-Man a few years ago. But
we've already got one for Wolverine, right? He's sitting in the bar
with the claws coming out. But I think we might see a little bit more than that. We may actually see Wolverine in a whole, like in
or a character that he's fighting.
Yeah, some indication.
But I think we've also got those free to play games, right? That Horizon game that we've seen that both of us, if we really hope it doesn't look like that, because it doesn't look good. But
yeah, I think that like we're going to see some stuff. I'm pretty sure that Sony probably has at least one or two more surprises in store for us this year. That isn't Spider-Man 2. And I'm very curious to see, what Factions is going to look like. And I just hope that alongside all of this is that we're going to get a first-party PSVR 2 announcement, because we have Horizon now, but we have no idea what's next. So I'm hoping that they're going to start talking about that more. It seems, Court, we're going to have lots of blog posts to talk about over the course of the next few months leading up to whatever the showcase is going to be. In the State of Play...
Well, we got MLB The Show.
True.
I'm just saying.
True. We got MLB The Show
next month.
That's
but
true.
It's not coming to PlayStation Plus.
No. Weird. So weird. We got another couple of announcements in the State of Play. Coming from Chris Scullion over at Video Games Chronicles. March 2023's PlayStation Plus Essential Games have been announced. We're getting Battlefield 2042 for the PS5 and PS4, Minecraft Dungeons on PS4, and Code Vein for PS4. Court, what do you think about March's Essential Plus games?
It's interesting to get a Microsoft game.
Right? Yep.
Like, so not playing nice in the sandbox, PlayStation isn't, and we're getting a Microsoft game. It's so weird. But I will say this, that was shown at the showcase.
Mm-hmm.
About time they treat their service like it's something, and
Yes.
it's not a blog post.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that they're doing this. Battlefield 2042, I've been playing for the last couple months. I really like it. The one major thing that I'll say is that the PS5 and the PS4 do not have crossplay together. You can play PS5 with PS5, PS4 with PS4, but because of the double player count on the PS5, you cannot play with each other. So in case you and friends are going to be looking to hop on together, make sure you have the version downloaded that you want to play with your friends. Because
there's a million PS5s out there now.
Yep.
Seriously, if you're waiting, I don't know what you're waiting for. There is not going to be a price reduction. Please don't think that there is going to be one. I went to my local Walmart to try and get a charger for my VR2, and there was like 10 PS5s in there.
There you go. So again, I think this is a solid month. Minecraft Dungeons is a fantastic game. Like Senna and I, when it came out, we played it for like 10 hours straight one day because there was terrible weather outside. And Code Vein looks cool. It's one that I've been curious to check out. I think it's a solid month. Because we also in the showcase got some of our extra and premium games revealed, written once again by Chris Scullion over on VGC. We know that we're getting Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection, which of course includes Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves. No, what's the?
No, it's Jesus, why
the
is my
Chloe
brain...
and 18 one. My mind just went blank.
Lost
Legacy. Ghostwire Tokyo, Rainbow Six Extraction, Chia, and Immortals Phoenix Rising. Of course, we will be getting more than this, but this is just what they've started to talk about so far. Again, I think a fantastic month, even with just that on Extra and Premium.
Immortals is an amazing game.
Amazing. Loved it.
Way better than Zelda Breath of the Wild.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. It's what Breath of the Wild wishes it could be.
It's so much fun. I actually feel a lot of the same way. That game is fantastic. And I've made that comment multiple times as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely trolling, but I think it's very good.
I agree. Chia, again, we've talked about. Ghostwire Tokyo coming to Extra is fantastic. I really liked it last year, but I think it does work as an Extra premium game. And of course, Uncharted is just fantastic. So
once again, another Xbox game. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, okay, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything that we got at the State of Play. We have another couple of stories to talk about with some rumors and some stuff going on, because once again, coming from Console Creatures, written by our good friend Bobby, a friend of the show who's been on the show before.
No, Bobby is not my friend.
Bobby's my friend.
He's the scum of the earth.
Bobby's the best.
And that's all I'm going to say.
Bobby has great takes. Because we got on an earnings call, David Zaslav, the current WBD president and CEO, revealed that Mortal Kombat 12 is set to arrive later this year. They started talking about how Suicide Squad's coming, and they also just kind of slipped in that Mortal Kombat 12 is coming this year. I think this is probably the only fighting franchise that I care about even a little bit. I really liked Injustice, and I really liked Mortal Kombat 10. So I'm excited to see this. Court, does Mortal Kombat do anything for you? I know you just said you're not big on fighting games.
Yeah, no, but Injustice is the only fighting games I've played in the last little bit. I like those because I think the storytelling in them was awesome. So maybe I'll check it out if it ever comes to the service. Yeah, I'll check it out. But mind you, the PlayStation Plus collection had Mortal Kombat. I put it in my thing. I have never downloaded it.
I spent a bunch of time with Mortal Kombat 10, but I don't think I ever actually ended up checking out 11. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 12 is real. It's coming soon. Get excited.
Shocker! I am shocked that they're going to bring out Mortal Kombat 12.
I'm totally blown away.
Yeah.
Our final news story comes from PlayStation Lifestyle, written by Nick Tan. Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake and new Castlevania could be at Konami's E3 2023. Konami could reveal the Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake and a new Castlevania game at E3 2023, according to the premiere episode of the VGC podcast. They said that there's a new Castlevania in addition to the Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC that they announced, and that there's been a lot of discussion around Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake finally being shown. Of course, neither one of these games are confirmed by Konami or anywhere else, but we have heard rumblings. Court, is MGS3 what Bluepoint is working on?
I hope so. I want to play this game. Like, I love the Metal Gear franchise. So I wish they would just go to the beginning, just remake them all. Just start all over again. And just, give Kojima a big pile of money and be like, "Hey, you've already done it. You've already done the creative genius. We're just gonna redo them, but we're gonna give you a boatload of money to do so. They will sell." And then for Castlevania, please give me a Castlevania in style of the God of War change on how they did it with Simon's whip being almost like Kratos' that like it can pull things and pull back and then you can turn it into a chain. Please just Castlevania is one of my favorite games from the NES that is just I don't know what it is. These classic games from the NES, people have had such a hard time, besides Nintendo with their franchises, doing anything with them and making them relevant nowadays. I I don't want a side-scrolling Castlevania. I want something more. I want something more meaty, but I would love a new Castlevania.
So I'm interested to hear you say that because I know a lot of like when this story was circulating, a lot of people were asking for a new 2D Castlevania.
I
So
get it.
you would rather them go 3D or would
Yeah, I
yeah?
want it I want it like a God of War. I
Okay.
want it something like that. I want Simon to be I wanna be over his shoulder. I wanna be using the whip. I wanna be changing it into a chainmail. Like, I want that
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have cool combat with that and have great storytelling and lore and all that great stuff. No, I'm the amount of as someone that grew up with 2D and side scrolling, like, I grew up in that generation, and I get it. It's they bring it out and all these indie developers are like, "Look at us, we're being so original. We're making a game look like something from the 1980s." I'm done with it. Like, I like the art style of Chia or even Volcano High where they're trying to do something different.
Mhm.
I don't need another, beat 'em up or this game is impossible and we're gonna make it look like an NES game. I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. I don't care.
I get it, but
It's
I've
fine. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
don't care. I grew up with it, and I get everybody always wants to go back to that thing that they
Mhm.
might not have had. I don't want that. I want new Castlevania. Stop giving me the same thing that I can go play right now.
I think it would be really really cool to have a fully 3D giant explorable like Dracula's castle. I think they could do something
Would
really
be
rich, like
amazing.
like Control, right? Control gave us the blueprint for
Please.
having everything
Yes,
in one building. I think that they could
please.
do something really really cool there. But I do still appreciate the again the pixel art style. I think it could work really well. I was gonna ask you
But you could
because
just go get an NES.
I
Like, I
could.
this is what I don't understand. Why do people want something that's already been perfected?
Well,
The
I.
original Castlevania, you can go play it right now.
Mhm.
Play it right now. There's emulators, that's good. That's bad, don't do it, but they're there. Or you can get, like, a mini NES, or you can just get it's already there. Give me something different. Stop giving me the same thing over and over again and reskinning it like Nintendo does with every one of their games.
I feel you. I guess we'll see what it's going to be and whether it's real. And again, I think starting with MGS3 is interesting because evidently coming from the same article, Konami is apparently hesitant about how to approach the older Metal Gear Solid games, whether they should be remade or just made available for modern platforms. I think it is an interesting call to start with MGS3.
It's
Like,
weird.
right? I think it is
Yeah.
chronologically the first in terms of like the MGS
Yep.
timeline. But I do think it's an interesting place to start given how different the world and again just kind of general combat the general gameplay is compared to your more classic Metal Gear. I would have preferred them to go back to something like Twin Snakes. Like I think that's such an amazing way if we got like a fully redone Twin Snakes or something along or like I think that would be really really cool. I'll obviously play MGS3, but I think it is interesting that they're starting there. Court, any thoughts and feelings there?
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you. But I just want it. Like I'm at the point where that's the thing I want. Like everybody's like, "Oh, I want the game to look like it did when my dad played it." Well, guess what? I am your dad, and I don't want to do that.
Court is
I
everyone's
don't.
dad.
I want them to make a remake. I want the game. If you're gonna go back and take these old franchises, the Konami's got like a ton of them.
Hmm.
Um, Give me a new version of it. Don't give me the version I've already played.
Yep.
I'm the one with the disposable income. Don't worry about these kids what they want. They just want to complain about everything. That's all they want to do. They want you to bring out something so they can whine about it on the internet for clout. That's what they want. I want something that I can give you my money for and play.
Well, I'm gonna whine about them giving us that then. But no, I think I think it is cool. I do think a fully like rebuilt from the ground up MGS3 could be really cool, and I hope you're right. I hope it's more Last of Us Part One than it is Last of Us like remastered, if that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
want a remake. I
Yeah.
want give me you know what? Dead Space now has the blue you have the blueprint.
True.
They just
Yep.
made Dead Space and it plays better than it ever has. I agree with you, like the save states and all that, but it's almost like a warm little hug that they kept that kind of stuff in.
Mhm.
And the boss battles are just like, okay, I have no ammo and I'm gonna continue to do this thing. I've got to figure out how to kill this guy with like 6 shots. But okay. But they showed you how you can do it.
Yep. They did. And again, we'll have more news for you as it happens. But Court, of course, we have to let some of our friends into the car because we have a couple questions to get through.
Can I kick Nakachaka out of the car?
No, he has.
Okay.
I'm gonna lock him in. He's never allowed to leave. He also has good takes. Up in the upper echelon alongside Bobby. Nagachaka from the Discord asks: Now that you guys have had time with PSVR 2, what is your favorite game so far, and why is it Resident Evil Village? So again, I haven't tried Village yet. Going to, I promise Nagachaka by the time we have our next show, I will have thoughts and feelings. But I think my favorite so far is probably a tie between Pistol Whip and Horizon. Like, I need more time with both, but Pistol Whip is such a great arcadey shooter rhythm-based stuff. And Horizon, I think, I'm going to say this now, I think I'm enjoying Call of the Mountain more than the non-VR games.
No, I won't go that far, but I am enjoying it a lot because I think it looks very, very beautiful. And I have caught myself just staring around and
Mhm.
looking at a waterfall off in the distance and like looking at a bird flying overhead. It's very cool to be in the world.
Yep.
I feel like I'm, you know, what's that movie with Sylvester Stallone back in the 90s, Cliffhanger? I feel like that's what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I'm just running around and climbing things. Um, that so far is what I've put my most time in.
Mhm.
What I probably have had the most fun in though is Job Simulator. I've
Ju-
just had a
yeah.
lot of fun in Job Simulator, and you're just doing stupid things and crazy things. Um, so that to me, the most fun I've had is Job Simulator. The most AAA experience and been like, wow, this story is phenomenal. I want to continue playing has been Horizon,
Yeah.
minus the combat.
Fair. Yep. So yeah, I'll have more for you about Resident Evil and Nagachaka, I promise. Jolish asks, how do you guys truly feel about the Justice League game? I get the feeling that World of Warcraft effect is missing somewhat. What does the game need to do to make it more appealing to you? Does it try too hard to appeal to a wider audience? How do you feel about 4-player co-op? I personally would wish for couch co-op functionality. Your thoughts? So we've kind of talked about how we feel about Justice League already, Court. But what I wanted to, or for Suicide Squad, um, I do find the question of him asking, how do you feel about 4-player co-op? Because again, like, would you have preferred this game to be more of a Guardians of the Galaxy or a Spider-Man where it's one character, the squad's around you, but you're playing as Deadshot or whatever? Or do you think that the 4-player co-op is a good thing?
I actually really like the fact that what they said in that 4-player co-op that you could be off doing whatever you want. We weren't stuck to each other while in the world. So like one person could be doing a mission over here while the other person's doing over the mission. I'm very curious to see how whose save file they're using and who if everything, so say someone does something, does that transfer over to your game, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
I am at the point where it's Rocksteady and I just want to play it. I'm a big DC fan, so to me, I want to get lost in this world. I want to see what it's about. I want to find the Easter eggs. They already showed like that Batman building and so on and so forth. It looked really cool. I just want to jump in. I have no issues with this because I haven't played it. I'm at the point, and I think I've said this enough, where I'm not gonna dunk on something if I haven't played it.
Hmm.
Like, how am I gonna dunk on it?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I do think that, like, I would have been curious to see the alternate timeline where this game was just a single player game, because we do know Rocksteady is really, really good at that. But again, like, I'm curious to see more of it. I wasn't completely sold on it, but I am curious to see more, to see, what else we get from it. Over on Twitter, Marcus comes with a bit of a statement, but Marcus at Marcus McCracken says, more of a statement, not a question, but just wanted to say, with my new PlayStation 5, I love it so far, and I have a feeling God of War will be one of my games of the year. I'm willing to bet you can guess what my second game of the year will be once I have my hands on it. Marcus, glad you're enjoying the PS5. Happy you're having a great time with it. Court, what do you think his second game of the year is going to be?
Well, if he's talking about something that's not out yet, it's Spider-Man, I
Yeah,
guess.
right?
Yeah, that's Spider-Man 2.
Hmm.
I would think because I think everybody's already like, okay, it's between that and Zelda, right?
Yep, pretty
Because
much.
those Nintendo nerds, they can't let things go, whether they have a game that is highly overrated in Breath of the Wild or not. But they they're already crowning it game of the year, and the thing's not even out. And if it's just a rehash of the game that we've already played, whoop de woo wah. But hey, that was the whole reason God of War didn't win, and we all gave it to Elden Ring because it's this magnificent Dark Souls open world thing.
Hmm.
Okay. So why is Breath of the Wild
Tears? I still don't
Tears?
know. I still
Mm,
don't know.
something of
What?
Kingdom. Automatically, it's game of the year already
Yeah, I mean, it'll be, I think Spider-Man 2 is probably what he's referring to,
on an
especially if talking about
underpowered
PS5.
system that you know. Mhm.
Hmm. But yeah, I'm excited.
That's how I feel about
And
Nintendo.
yeah, right. And Todd of War at Talkstar just says, "Whoa, Matt looks like a new man with his beard." Thanks, dude. Appreciate you.
Yeah, just Todd. Matt's got like 4 more years until that thing's gray. So
Hey, stop
enjoy
it.
it, Matt.
You stop it.
Enjoy it.
You stop it.
Mm,
But
but you're married now, dude. Stress. It's a real thing.
I'm going
And
to
you just
be
bought a house, dude. Matt, you're gonna be gray by next year.
I'm going to be gray in about 2 weeks.
You're gonna be. Oh, you know what you could be? I'm looking at you right now. You
What?
are Doctor Strange. Just be Doctor Strange for Halloween.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
so easy. The costume's
So
already
easy.
done. You got the hair and the beard. Just
I
get a cape.
I have to find a bearded Spider-Man. I'd rather do that, but we'll see what happens. But that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Once again, hit us with your questions and comments below. We appreciate all of you very, very much. It is time for Court's favorite part of every episode. Court, if people want to see and hear more from you, where could they do so?
You can find me on Twitter at Court Lalonde, or you can find me also on Twitter at Carpool Gaming, or you can find me on Three Dads in a Console every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.
Perfect. Make sure you go check Court and all the other places. If you're watching The Last of Us, please hop over and check out our Last of Us recap podcast as well, which goes live each and every Monday, talking about the episode that came right before. And as for myself, you can find me over on Twitter at Matt_SilverSoul. We'll be back next week. Peace. Of course, we want to end off by thanking all of our incredible patrons, our ultimate producers, Robbie Bobby Miller. Subscribe to Robbie Bobby's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Robbie Bobby Miller. Trucker Sloth, Tony Baker from Quest 4 Pixels. Please subscribe to youtube.com/Quest 4 Pixels today. Jonathan Brown, the new album from PME is called Video Game Boy and is available on Spotify and Apple Music. Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. Links are in the show notes. Please support these ultimate producers. Our platinum producers, Marcus McCracken and RJ Kern. And of course, our gold members, Anna, Bauza, Cecily Carosa, Dallas Robbins, Drellish, Emily O'Kelly, Foolish Fuji, Jonas Young, Jose Jimenez, Marcus O'Neill, Tim Paulin, Dano, and Hopple. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it very much.